Hi boys and girls, welcome back to art. Today we're going to start off using a pencil and a piece of white paper, and this is a paper that is actually like drawing paper. You could also use watercolor paper. This we're going to be using paint on, but if you don't have paint, boys and girls, you can use crayons and do the same thing. I also attached onto this week's lesson a little template, and this is going to be the template that we use to make our popsicles. So you're going to need 3 of these on your paper, and so I'm going to take my first one and I'm going to be doing, like I said, 3 of them, but I'm going to try to put it as close to the edge as possible so that I have plenty of room. And using your pencil, you're going to trace around that template. So, and you're holding it down nice and tight. And if you need a parent to help you, that would be a really good thing, is they can help you trace it, or they can even help you hold it while you trace it so that you get those nice skills of using your pencil. So see, Miss Schaaf is holding it really tight. I don't move it, and I trace around it. And then I can also, look, I don't pick my hand up, but then I can make those lines, and I make a nice, pretty image. But then I have room for one more because I didn't do them all right in the middle. And again, I'm going to hold it down, and I'm going to trace around those 3 images, boys and girls. So you're going to need 3 shapes so that we can get started. And hopefully you have listened to the story Mouse Paint, and you learned about our 3 primary colors, red, yellow, and blue, and you listen to the primary colors song. And then what happens is we mix our colors, and when we mix our primary colors together, we get secondary colors. So I'm going to be mixing some. So I'm back, boys and girls, and I have 3 special colors here. If you look at them, you could probably tell what colors they are: blue, yellow, red. But these also have another special name for this group of colors. They're called the primary colors. And these are where colors all begin. And we're going to be using these to paint our popsicles. So you'll need a paintbrush. But if you don't have a paintbrush, boys and girls, this is the fun part, is one, I can give you some paint. I can put it in a little ramekin for you and you can pick it up. Or if you have paints at home, you can also use watercolors, or you could use markers, or you can use crayons if you don't have paints or anything else. But if you have a paintbrush, you're going to take and you're going to use your primary color. So I'm going to start off using blue, my primary color, and I'm going to paint part of my popsicle stick. And you might notice that Miss Schaaf has some of hers outside of the line, and that's okay. I'm just kind of doing it quickly. But later on, I'm going to be doing this, cutting these out. So if you get outside the lines, no worries, boys and girls. So I did that, but now I want to mix my red in with that, and I want to make just my red. And here's why I said you don't have to have your paintbrush if you don't have it. I'm going to just use my fingers, so this is an option too that you can do if you don't have a paintbrush. That does not mean like make a huge mess with it for mom and dad, but if you don't have a paintbrush, this is another alternative for you to use. And now I said so these are 2 of my primary colors, but I said we're gonna make secondary colors. So what you're gonna actually do is take some of that red and start mixing it in with your purple. And you notice I have to mix it in some, and you can start seeing that purple color coming out. And if you need to add a little bit more blue, you can add a little bit more blue to create that purple color that's in there. And so now I've got red, purple, and blue, because blue and red together make purple. So just make sure after you wash off your brush, because I'm going to go on to the next colors. I'm going to mix 2 of my other primary colors, blue and yellow. Do you remember what color this makes? Well, let's find out. So I'm going to use my yellow, and I'm just going to paint it on the bottom, or you can do it on the top, whatever you decide to do, boys and girls. And again, I'm going to create some up here, because remember, I'm going to have to use some of that to mix with my blue. And again, I don't want to use another paintbrush or go wipe this one off. So right now, ooh, you kind of saw the color right there that I'm trying to create. I'm going to just kind of wipe in my blue here with my fingers. So if you don't have a paintbrush, don't let that stop you, boys and girls. I'm going to take some of that blue and I'm going to mix it in, and you can see what color I'm creating here. If you said green, you were correct. Blue and yellow together make green. And now I'm going to try my last two primary colors together. My last two primary colors are red and yellow. And when I mix those together, I'm going to create a new color, one of my secondary colors. And if you remember from the video and the song, that's going to make orange. So again, I'm just going to use one of my primary colors, red, and I'm going to paint it onto my popsicle here. And I'm going to create, and I'm going to paint up just a little bit because I need to be able to have those two colors that mix together. And notice before I was changing my paintbrush, I was actually washing it off before I came in and used that color. And then I'm using my yellow here. Again, I'm just using my finger, and you can do this like finger painting. I'm going to add in my yellow, but then after I get my primary color at the top, I'm going to take it in and I'm going to start mixing it in to create orange. So once you have that done, boys and girls, you're going to put away your paints. You can save them, because if you have any left over, if you got it from Mrs. Shop, then keep them because you might use it again, and this is a great little way to save your paints. If you had your own, make sure you clean up and clean off your fingers and your paintbrush. We don't want to leave our paintbrush messy, and you're going to let this paper dry. And we're going to come back to it next week and continue our lesson in making our popsicles. But today you're going to let it dry and you're going to leave it for next week. Bye, boys and girls.